If my face is messy, you can blame it on me having to film like a Vibe video for my Jolly Fit Elf channel. And the fiber mascara, that it's not doing its job. Hi. It's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me. My makeup may look a little messed up, and that's because I just cried in the video I filmed saying goodbye for my Jolly Fit Elf channel. And I got emotional, which is not surprising, which I'm just glad that I can get emotional. That'll be a Sparvato update. We're going to talk about that in this video. I'm also going to talk about the results from the second FSHD testing. We're going to talk about an update about everything that's going on with the neurosurgeon stuff. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? This is what I get for not writing it down. That might be it. That might be it. Is there anything else? I don't know. Well, listen. If you thought my memory was bad before, just strap on the seatbelt because it's going to be a wild ride. But before we get into that, the last time I saw you guys, I mentioned that we were heading to Oklahoma for my nephew's 3rd birthday party. And I'd shown you the pound puppy that I picked up for him. He loved it. He pulled it out of the bag. He's like, oh, my puppy. And then later that evening, and I'll try to remember to throw in a little bit of footage. That evening, my brother goes, Boone, what's your dog's name? And he goes, Bingo. Bingo. So.
Well, Daddy opens that when you can.
Yeah. What's your puppy's name?
Bingo.
Bingo?
Yeah, I love Bingo.
Oh, do you love him?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So he has a dog named Bingo. It was cold and windy, and I wore shorts and a t-shirt like a dum-dum. It was also hard to get around. I was trying to use my rollator because anyway, it was rough, and we stayed less than an hour, but got to see him open his presents, got some good hugs from him, and it was nice to just get away for a couple of hours and just have a good time, you know what I mean? So since then, life has been. So I reached out to Dr. Jones, who's with the University of Nevada at Reno. He is the one that's doing the FSHD study. He's actually really entrenched in a lot of FSHD stuff, even with the Muscular Dystrophy Association. He is in the same clinical trials as the neurologist I saw at UT Southwestern. So he and I talked for a good hour. We went over all of my symptoms. We went over all of the testing that I had done. We went over all of it. And I do have FSHD. Facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. He said, you have it. He said, it's positive. So the overall positive of this is that it happened during fertilization. So the mutation happened during fertilization. This is not inherited from either side of my family. So it's just me because I didn't procreate. So that is, I'm very happy about that because my biggest concern has been my siblings and my niece and nephew. And so now that I know that it was just me telling you I won the genetic lottery, I felt a whole lot better about it. He said I have what they've deemed FSHD mosaic or mosaic FSHD, where half of my cells are FSHD and half of my cells are healthy. And basically kind of the same thing. You could, have this and be asymptomatic your whole entire life, or you can develop symptoms. And he said, from what you've said, it sounds like to me that this is the FSHD. He said, a lot of times people don't, they notice it all of a sudden. And he gave me an example, and this is his example, so take with it what you will. He said, imagine that your back has 4 muscles and you lose a muscle. So now your other muscles are doing the work of 4 when there's just 3. And he said, all of a sudden your body's going to notice that, and then you lose another muscle. And so he's like, it literally feels like it happens overnight. And I said, that is exactly what happened. He said that the FSHD is also probably the cause of my chronic inflammation. He said that is one of the main symptoms of FSHD, or one of the main things that it causes, is inflammation. He said a lot of my back pain, like the back pain, is probably from the FSHD. And he didn't understand how the neurologist told me that my weakness was an FSHD weakness. He said the only way to know that, he said, there's a very specific MRI that they can do on your arm muscles. He said, but weakness is weakness. And if you have FSHD and you have symptoms, he said, I don't understand. I said, listen, it was a 7-minute appointment and I can tell you. So it's been confirmed. I do have muscular dystrophy. And unfortunately, like he said, you have so many other things going on. He's like, it's hard to tell what's causing what. But he said, there's no way that the FSHD hasn't played a part in some of this. And I said, okay. So I am grateful that I have an answer. I mean, that was basically my second opinion, so to speak. So the first test was correct, and that neurologist can suck it. Suck it, suck it, suck it. So unfortunately, there's no treatment yet. And he said, yet. He said, yeah. He's a molecular biologist. He's like, we're working on it, I promise. And I said, okay. And he said, the only way I can think that why she didn't enroll you in her study is because you have other things going on. And he said, you're not clean, so to speak. He said, I hate saying that. He said, but sometimes these neurologists want people who don't have any other thing going on. And I said, I completely understand that. And I told him, I said, I am willing to offer any kind of support that you need. If you want old, blood work, or, my nerve conduction studies, or all of that, just let me know. If you want more, I am willing to do whatever I can do to help your research. So he was funny and younger than I imagined. I swear he's probably 50, maybe he's a little bit older, I don't know, but he was funny, and just it was affirming, but also I was able to go, okay. So again, genetics lottery, go me. But I am just eternally grateful that it started with me and it stops with me, and there's no one else who would have to suffer this. So yeah, I initially asked for them to go ahead with the University of Iowa test, and then when he said, no, you definitely have it, I was like, never mind. He's like, we test everything. So they test everything. I mean, I couldn't even tell you, but the approved genetic test for it only tests the chromosome issues, and they tested a whole bunch of other different things. So when he sent me, he's like, your results are nuanced. I'm like, of course they are. It's like, of course they are. When is anything ever straightforward with me? I don't know. So yeah, anyway, so that's the FSHD update. I have it. I said, is it mute now? And he's like, no. He said, because, you're having, he said, the pain in your neck and the pain in your back, other than the nerve pain, he said, it's probably because of especially the pain between my shoulder blades, which has not gone away. He said, it's probably the FSHD. And he said, that is the number one complaint from people, is neck and back pain when they have this. And I was like, great, triple word score. So we talked about the OPLL, which he had never heard of before, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna look into that. So anytime I mention something, it's like, listen, I have the letters, I have FSHD, I have OPLL, I have RA, I have all of these letter diseases, I'm collecting them, and so it was a good chat. I just really liked him. So I don't remember who recommended him, but thank you so very much. I can never express enough gratitude to you for that, because he really answered all of the questions that had been looming in my mind. And it's nice to know that I wasn't making it up. It wasn't me being a hypochondriac or just, trying to have a disease or whatever, as I've been accused of. So, yeah. So that's that. And then I saw my regular doctor. So I had hoped to have that information before I saw him, but unfortunately I talked to him the day after the appointment with my regular doctor. So my regular doctor and I talked, and I had him check my wrist. I'm still having issues with it. He's like, everything's intact. He said, but it can take, 6 to 8 weeks to get over a sprain. He said, so wear your brace. I forgot today. So we talked, and he's like, remember, he said, I sent you to my guy. I said, I know you sent me to your guy. And that guy said, we're not going to worry about it right now. And he was like, he said, I am just so frustrated with doctors who just tell you, and he said, I don't understand that, doctor. I said, I don't either. I said, if it's my weight, just say, hey, I'm, like I said before, you need surgery, but I'm not inclined to do it. Like, I am not comfortable doing it at your size. Something like that, at least to let me know that it's something that I needed to pursue. And unfortunately that didn't happen, but everything happens for a reason. And I'm just trying to remember that. And that is definitely something that I believe. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in the timeline it's meant to happen. So I just have to trust that we are on the right path. He seems to think that I will be having a total spine fusion rather just a cervical and lumbar. He said, Misty, he said, this is over half of your disc. And he said, you're literally going to have this much in your spine if you do a cervical and a lumbar fusion. And he said, it has to have something to brace for you to have any kind of support. And he said, that's not enough to offer support. So he had his done posterior, anterior, I believe. And he only had L4, L5. And he said, the doctor even told me, he said that at some point I would have to come in because the one underneath that would fail, because it's having to do the work of L4, L5, and then I guess C4, C5, and I guess C6. And he said, I really feel like she's going to want to do a total spine. And he said, when you do that, he said, you won't really be able to bend over. He said, but you won't have any more nerve pain either. And I was just like, I said, but I'm terrified. And he's like, well, yeah, you should be. He said, even mine, I was telling my wife where the bank accounts were, and, we were having that conversation about if I didn't make it. And he said, it's terrifying. He said, I would be concerned if it wasn't terrifying for you. And he said, just keep me posted. And I love him. Like, he has been with me from the very beginning, the absolute very beginning. We have been seeing him now for, I think, Rob has been seeing him for 13 years or 12 years, and I've been seeing him for 11 years. And I'm so blessed with him. So, a total spine surgery would mean, he said, that's like a 10, 12, 14 hour surgery. They would open me up from the base of my skull all the way down to my butt, and they would insert 2 very long rods on either side. They'd do a laminectomy. They would remove all of the disc. And then they would insert those 2 rods. And then they would insert pins all the way down. I made the mistake. This is before that. I made the mistake of Googling scars. I was like, C2 to T2 scars. And I was like, holy shit. And then that led me to how they place you for that surgery. And I swear to God, this man had like things drilled into his head. And I was just like, Misty, what are you doing? Back up, back up, back up. Abort. Abort. I can't. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I have been doing low carb, and I've stuck to low carb. I haven't been filming anything because I just haven't been able to. The last time I told you, I was tell you about Sparvado and how I bumped it up, and I think maybe we talked about nausea. Whoo, Lord. Last week, so I'm filming this on Tuesday. last Friday. Was it Friday? No, it was Tuesday. Last Tuesday or Wednesday, I had another dose of Sparvado. And I was so flippin' sick. I mean, it made me so nauseous. I basically slept in the recliner in their little treatment room with the wastebasket in my face. And I'm glad I've chosen not to eat before going because I didn't have anything in my stomach that would come up. So I was just like, I can't. So Monday I had another treatment and we got through, Friday. So the first one was on Tuesday. The next one was on Friday. I couldn't, it's a nose spray and it basically just goes to your brain. And there are 3 doses. So you go spurt, spurt, wait 5 minutes, spurt, spurt, wait 5 minutes, spurt, spurt. And we got through the second spurt and I was already over the trash can and she was like, I don't think we should go. I said, I can't. I was sick from Tuesday all the way through Friday. One of the side effects is it causes high blood pressure. I don't have that. Like every time we've started, my blood pressure is like 110 or 105 or something over like 65 or something. I don't have high blood pressure and this has caused high blood pressure. And not like over 200 or anything like that, but enough for me to be sick, enough for me to feel sick to my stomach, enough for me to have a very flushed, hot. I talked about that before. This was definitely blood pressure. I don't think it was before, but this was definitely blood pressure causing my face to be on fire. Couldn't get comfortable. So sweaty hot one night. I wasn't running a fever. I kept checking and she's like, it was supposed to work itself out of your system within 4 hours. And I was like, I was sick. So she's a nurse and we both kind of deduced that it was probably the high blood pressure. I had caffeine. I can't do that on the days that I have, I inhale. So, yeah, it's been, so Friday I had Dramamine and I took a Dramamine because was supposed to get, we had talked about Zofran, but she hadn't had an opportunity to get that yet. So I took a Dramamine right before and that helped a little bit. And we didn't do the 3, did we do the 3 doses? I don't think we did. And then I came home and took another Dramamine because I barely made it home. The car had me so sick. And then I slept for like 4 hours. And that was another thing. I didn't sleep at all last week. I would go to bed at like 4:30 and then wake up like at 6:37. I could not sleep. No matter how much sleeping medication I was taking, I could not do it. And then it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So rather than doing the 84 milligrams, which is the highest dose, we've back down to the 56. And she got, so I got a prescription for Zofran. So I had one of these yesterday and she's like, do you want to try the 84? I was like, no, I'm fine with the 56. We can try again if we wanted to, but I told her, I was like, I honestly feel like it's helped a bunch. Again, I cried, which has not been something that I've been able really to do the last few months. Damn it. Ugh. Listen, that Wow mascara is a joke. I'm not even gonna lie. So it's been interesting. It's been a lot. And I've just really tried to just breathe. Just breathe. I feel like it's working. I feel like I'm feeling now. That's what I told Rob the other day. I was like, ugh, so I did this at the absolute wrong time. He's like, what? It's like the Sparvado. It's like I hate this. I hate it. I hate feeling, which is dumb. But at the same time, it's like, there are so many things that could go wrong with this surgery. There are so many things that could go right with this surgery. But it's terrifying. It's terrifying. And like I told that neurosurgeon and like I told my doctor, I was like, this is taking everything from me. And I feel like it continues to take from me. I've already told Rob that if this happens, I'm going into a medical rehab. I'm not coming home. I don't know how Roxy will survive that. I don't know how I will survive that without Roxy. We'll figure it out. I was like, maybe we can bring her for a visit. It's like train her on a leash and a what's that called? Harness or something. So yeah. Oh, I did buy the little strawberry shortcake curio cabinet thing. I bought it. I'll insert a picture. One of the stickers is crooked and it's probably going to drive me to insanity, but I am not going to try to remove it and put it back. It came with a lot of the little miniatures, but I've been looking on Etsy to see if I can find a couple of more. Like I don't have blueberry cheesecake. I don't have huckleberry. There are a few that I don't have, and I'm like, I would really like to get those. I've started listening to books. You guys know I'm a huge reader, voracious reader, 500, 600, 700 books a year. And I've started reading audiobooks. So if you read Kindle books, a lot of times if the author has that book on Audible, you can get what's called Whisper Synced, and you can get the audio for the book you've purchased for $7.99. And I'd forgotten I'd done that with a couple of books. So I got back into my Audible account and I've been listening to books, and I'm going to try to get an Audible premium membership. I'm going to try to. You guys will have to let me know if that's something you guys do, because I don't know what my range of motion is going to be after surgery. I don't know. There's so many unknowns, and I am on the struggle bus with that. I'm really fighting not to emotionally shop. That was my birthday present. And I got a bottle of perfume, which was also my birthday present. So those are the two things that I've purchased for my birthday, which is on the 29th. So a little early. If you're interested in the perfume, I picked up Very Good Girl from Carolina Herrera. Is that how you say her name? I have the Very Good Girl Glam, and now I have the Very Good Girl. And Lord, they both smell so good. So good. If you guys want to peek at my perfume collection, let me know. I don't buy designer handbags, but I do buy designer perfume. I do. I got it from Ulta. They had a 20% off coupon off of everything prestigious, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet, and I did, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, that's where I am right now. My MRIs are scheduled for the 26th, so I had to move my appointment with not only pain management, but with the neurosurgeon to the 30th. Excuse me, so that's a day after a Tuesday. I need to call them or message them and be like, is this enough time for you guys? Like, are you sure that they can get this read into you by Tuesday? I don't know. I'm a little hesitant about that, so I need to call tomorrow and find out. But I had to reschedule my pain management because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense for me to go see my pain management doctor when I have no idea what the hell is going on. So I already had an appointment scheduled for the middle of May, so I went ahead and kept that one. What else? I have one more week of 2. So for Sparvado, again, it's an inhalant. You do 4 weeks at 2 a week. So 2 sessions a week. Then you do a month of 1 session a week, and then you do as needed. I'm going to guess we'll probably do once a month for maintenance. I'm not sure. We haven't gotten that far yet. But next week is the last week that we do 2 visits a week, and thank the Lord. We have put so many miles on our car from this, because it's basically 2 round trips. Rob refuses to allow me to take an Uber there, and that's okay, but I'm taking an Uber tomorrow. Tomorrow's my RA infusion, and this is the appointment where if I don't see my rheumatologist, I'm going to have to have a fit. Like, I'm not going to try to be a bitch, but I'm going to pitch a fit, because I haven't seen her since October, and I've had 2 appointments since then, and that's some bullcrap bullshit. But anyway, it's going to be a long conversation about, do I need to stop immune suppression therapy? You know what I mean? Because I can't go into this type of surgery or any type of surgery with what am I trying to say? A suppressed immune system. Like, I'm going to need all of the immunity that I have. And like I mentioned before, the neurosurgeon has already said that scar, that incision, is something that will open, even on thin people. So, oh God, can you imagine a scar? I told Rob, I was like, maybe it'll line up with the one on my back. You guys, I'm flippin' terrified. I am so terrified. I am beyond terrified. I am just beyond. And I have basically been eating less than a meal a day. I had thought, oh, I'll do bulletproof coffee. It can't. I think somebody recommended decaf. I need to look back on that, but it's like, I gotta do something. I haven't really had an appetite either because I've just been so flippin' worried, and I'm trying not to worry, and the more I try not to worry, it just leads to more executive dysfunction where I'm just paralyzed and don't do anything but play games on my phone. Panthea? I think is what I've been playing. Panthea? Let me look. I think it's Panthea. Panthia. Panthea. Been playing that nonstop. It's a merge game, which I tend to enjoy those the most. I'll listen to a book while I'm playing that game. And, I'm just trying to keep some kind of normalcy. Rob is working his tail off. It's Tuesday, and that man already has 40 hours this week. He worked 15 or 16 hours on Saturday. He worked from like 9 a.m. on Sunday to 4 a.m. on Monday morning. He is working his tail off. It's busy season. So I feel awful having him have to drive me, and I'm looking forward to us only having to do it once a week. And that was the other thing. I really thought I got sick from the Sparvato because it was 6 days between treatment, and I'm like, I don't know that I can survive it, because I was just so sick, so flippin' sick. So yeah, so that was a lot of but that's what's been going on. I've been working on the pantry, and I feel like I may have made it worse than better. It's like, damn it. I'm trying to nest as much as I can and just not break down. And then I think about recovery, and I'm like, am I strong enough to go through this? Because I don't know. I mean, I was in so much pain after back surgery. Well, that was mostly the drains. That was the issue. But it's like, I don't know. And I don't know if it's something I'll be able to put off either. So a lot of unknowns, and the 30th is a fucking long time away. But I'm lucky I even got in on the 26th for MRI, because she said a lot of other locations are in June. And I was like, God dang. I can't hurry up and wait. I'm not very good at that at all. At all. So yeah. Tomorrow is an infusion, and then Friday I do another Sparvato, and then the dentist. I've been brushing my teeth every day, but I have not been keeping up with flossing and stuff. So my appointment wasn't until August, but she's like, if you start getting build up, come in ASAP. So I made an appointment because I haven't been doing skincare. The other day I was so itchy. Oh, and that's another thing. Oh my gosh, Roxy has become so flippin' needy. And I'm sure she's feeding off my anxiety and trying to be like my emotional support animal. I get it. But now she's gotten to where she will stand on the arm of the couch and stand half on me and half on the arm of my couch. But she's right here in my face. And I told her, I was like, I feel like I've developed an allergy to her fur, to her pet dander or whatever it's called, because like for 3 or 4 days I was just like itchy, and my eyes were swollen. And so I normally took my Zyrtec at night because it makes you drowsy, but I've switched it to the day, and that's kind of helped things. But she likes it when I rub, like, on their scent glands or other. She likes it rough. So she's shedding anyway because we're going into summer. So it's like, oh my God, the cat hair, the cat hair, the cat hair. It's everywhere. It's on me too. So yeah. Anyway, that's it, y'all. I appreciate all of your comments. It's a lot to digest. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to, like I said, there's just so much unknown. Just so much unknown. And a part of me is like, maybe I should just sell everything. Maybe I should just sell all of my makeup, sell all of my crafting stuff, and just not have it here. This honestly feels like it's going to end up being a mausoleum or something if I can't do any of this going forward. But I'm also trying to just be positive and just be positive. Like I'm trying to be realistic, but I'm also trying to just focus on, good things. This will take away the nerve pain. This should take away all the back pain. Although with the FSHD, maybe it will, maybe it won't. So yeah. And I have a friend that I went to high school with, and she's having the same issue with her neck, but she's trying to put off surgery as long as she can. She's like, have you had epidurals? I'm like, honey. 2 epidurals in 2017. I've had a couple of epidurals in my neck since then. I said I've done the facet injections, the facet blocks. I said I had a rhizotomy. And I said I've done basically everything that you can do non-surgical to help mitigate the pain. I said my body just gets used to it, and I'm used to a higher pain. I have a higher pain tolerance. Because again, as I've mentioned, there's only so many other medicines that I can take. And if I top out, then that's it. I've topped out. And I'm trying to put that off as long as I can. So some days it means sitting here like I am right now with intense nerve pain in my right lower back where the nerve is pinched. And some days it's just allowing myself to just rest. You know what I mean? Just trying to rest and kind of get used to feeling again. I know that feeling, F-E-E-L-I-N-G. I know that sounds weird, but if you guys remember, I've said I don't care and I haven't cared that I don't care. But I'm starting to kind of come back into myself. And while that is fantastic, again, it's also like, shit, like, would this be easier to deal with if I still didn't care? You know what I mean? Like, would this still be easy to deal with if I didn't, there wasn't so much uncertainty and my brain was still shut off? I don't know. But I do know that I have a lot of faith in this new neurosurgeon. I told my doctor, I said, she and her PA both. I said, I just got a really good feeling about both of them. And he said, it's probably nice to have someone listen to you. And I said, there's that. I said, because the PA walked in, she's like, girl, you've been through it. And I was like, mm-hmm. He said, that goes a long way with patients to acknowledge what they're going through and to acknowledge that it's not in their head and it's not because they're a hypochondriac. There's a real literal damage to your spinal cord. And, it's going to be a rough go of things. He said, but I feel like this will help. And so there's that. And I am just trying to get as much weight off as fast as I can. And we'll go from there. And I'll know more probably on the 30th. So, yeah. So, anyway, that's it. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo. But, yeah. I'm just looking forward to answers. I feel relief that the FSHD has been confirmed and that, I know that it started and ends with me. Like, again, that is so much relief. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't even know how I can even put into words the level of relief that I have that this muscular dystrophy was a genetic mutation during fertilization And it starts and ends with me. Like I just am elated by that. Really, seriously. So yeah. That's it. I'm gonna go. I put on makeup today. Twice. And yeah. Yeah. Right, friends. I'll try to keep you guys posted. Like I said, Tuesday's 21st or 22nd. Do I go next week? This month is flying by. I do. I go next Friday. And then Monday's my birthday. I think we're going to go to Fogo de Chão. Is that how you say that? The Brazilian steakhouse over in Addison because I got a $25 off coupon. And I don't do the buffet anymore. I just want to get the picanha. Yeah. And the garlic beef. So good. Bye. Just gonna sit here and talk about nothing. So bye. Get out of here. You go. Sayonara. Au revoir. All of the things.